Good evening. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stacey Flowers and I'm about to do my December 2019 budget. So if you are interested in that, please keep watching. In me doing my December 2019 budget, I'm going to be going over 3 budget forms that are part of the Dave Ramsey Financial Peace University program. Let me grab those forms. So I'm going to be doing my Quickstart budget, I'm going to be doing my monthly cash flow, and I'm going to be doing my allocated spending with you all live. Unfortunately, a lot of things have updated since I have not posted a live video here on YouTube. So I could not put these forms in my description box, but if you go to the description box on any of my other videos, you will be able to see a link to be able to download and get the forms. So that is what's going to happen in this video. For those of you guys who have no idea who I am, my name is Stacey Flowers and I'm a student of Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University. Emphasis on being a student. I know I have been a student for 2 years now, which is kind of blowing my mind. But I'm still a student and I'm still learning, and I love to go live to do my budget every single month because I find that it is incredible to get help from you all in the community. I literally get an international perspective on what's happening in my finances. And so I'm on a journey to become 100% debt free. My debt is around $170,000 right now. It started much higher than that. My income started at right around $800 a month working part-time, and now my average income goes somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000. My income for the month of December is going to be $10,000, and I'm going to do my budget. So if you guys are interested in that, I would love for you to stick around and keep watching. I wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping before I did the numbers, just to kind of let you guys know what's going on in December. I do have a few things that are going on. First things first, my income is going to be $10,000 this month. This is another $10,000 month, which blows all of my pieces of my mind, right? Like, I make $10,000 a month working part-time, and I completely adore this work. I have amazing clients and a really beautiful community of support, and it's incredible to be able to make a living doing what I love. So the income that we're going to be budgeting is the $10,000. And then this is a holiday month, so you guys know Christmas is coming up. For Christmas, me and my family, we do a very big family dinner, and we do Secret Santa. And so what we're doing for Christmas in terms of like divvying up costs for Christmas, if you will, is everyone is sort of taking on the responsibility of a portion of like putting the Christmas dinner together. And so there's going to be a little bit of a Christmas budget for me to pitch in for my part, a little bit of a Christmas budget for me to do for my Secret Santa, a little bit of a Christmas budget for me to get my son something for Christmas, and then I think I'm gonna send like cards or something like that, like personal cards, so a little bit of a budget for me to do some sort of a Christmas card as well. So that needs to be something that is calculated. I'm going to be going home or to my hometown for a little bit for Christmas, and then my son is going to be coming back here to Chicago, so allocating funds for that travel, both from me to go and then for my son to come back. And then I do have a 5-day business trip in December that I want to allocate for as far as the budget. And then I think it's just important to just take a moment to just pause and realize, like, this is the last month of the year, which it's like, what in the world? Did 2019, it went by super quick for me, like, and I think it was because I was really enjoying majority of the year. Like, there were so many awesome things happening super fast that, like, it was just like, I was just like powering through the year. So I just think that it's worth acknowledging that I am at the end of the year. And you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, like, I'm a reflective person anyway, but I'm super reflective at the end of the year. And so, you know, just taking stock of things, just really examining sort of where things are financially. I just put a post up on Instagram that tells you exactly how much debt I have paid off to date. which the number is incredible. I'm not going to tell you guys because if you want to see it, you can go right on over to Instagram and see that month to month breakdown. But it's been, you know, it's really incredible to see how much debt I've actually paid off. I'm going to do a detailed video about my debt snowball because I know you guys have a lot of questions about that. So when we do the Q&A portion of this call, you're probably going to be asking me, well, how much debt do I have left? And that's just going to be answered in a separate video, because it's kind of hard to explain the debt snowball when you have interest and stuff like that, because it doesn't feel like it's going down no matter how much you're paying on it, because interest is a beast. And I'm finally in a place where in addition to paying off debt, I'm actually in front of or ahead of my interest. And so I think now is a really good time to do a debt snowball update, but it will be coming in another video because this video is all about me budgeting. So I think that that's everything. Just making note of that. The other thing, I don't know if this is going to be something that I think of for Jane. Oh, the other thing is I did want to do my vision and my dental stuff to finalize those two sinking funds, which they're sinking funds because I put money in them in the last couple of months, but they're not, you know, the real deal sinking funds, which the plan in 2020 is to be a super saver, to be like a saving type person. But that might be the only other thing. So I'm just going to make a little note of that. Because that might be something that I do. So grab your budgeting forms. I'm going to flip you guys over and we are going to do some math and we're going to finish this year very, very strong. Oops, I should have wiped off that screen. Hold on, I'll wipe it off for you guys in a second because it's a little smudged, or that camera is more smudged. There we go. All right, so we're gonna start with the Quickstart budget. I don't know if that is giving you guys a bad shadow. So we're gonna start out with the Quickstart budget per usual, which is, you know, essentially your four walls. What's necessary, what needs to be taken care of, what must you pay in order for you to just really be able to function throughout the month. In the beginning of my journey, when I was making about $800 a month working part-time, this was almost the only budget form that I could really complete with any sort of like finishing touches, because I just didn't really have enough income to go further into it. A lot of people want to skip this budget because they're like, you know, oh, it's not necessary, I can just go to the cash flow. But I really like doing this because I really like seeing what are my essentials, what are my four walls, and the Quickstart budget gets that down on paper for you. So my income this month is going to be $10,000, and you guys know I pay 10% to tithe, so that's going to be $1,000. I do 10% in child support, so that's also going to be $1,000. Then my rent is $939. My homeowner's insurance, everything Tween said, where can I get these sheets? These sheets, they're not linked in this video, but they're linked underneath any of my other videos. There's just a link that just says budgeting forms. Homeowners or renters insurance is going to be $575. And I'm just going to do my math as I go along. That means that is $944.75, and this is $2,000. Electricity, I give myself a budget of 30. Is that what? That's a little bit bent. I give myself a budget of 30. Same thing for gas, a budget of 30. My phone bill is $35.82. My business pays for internet. So this is $95.82. For groceries, well, so my pantry is really full right now because last month I just like filled up all of my jars. I'm also going to be doing some traveling this month, so I won't need as much food. I'm just going to do $75 for groceries this month. Just because I really won't need as much food. And I know like food that I buy to contribute to our family Christmas dinner, technically that's groceries, but for me, that's a part of my, like Christmas budget, if you will. And with between the traveling and the, oh, well, you know, actually though, my son is going to be here, but I'm going to put that in a separate budget for him as well. Just to make it clear, because you know, when teenagers are around, they eat a whole house. So yeah, I'm just going to do $75 for general grocery shopping for the month of December, because my pantry is full, and it would just be me getting like milk and meat and like fresh veggies. So that would be more than enough. I don't have any clothing needs. Listen, Chicago, it is very warm. It is 47 degrees in Chicago today. And I'm not saying that like that's warm, but that's warm for Chicago. And so I haven't really had the need to like super bundle up, and all of the winter things that I got last year are more than sufficient. So that's awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and give myself the 50 for my Uber. You guys know I don't have a car, but I do Uber for my transportation around the city, and that's been working out very well. My life insurance is $26.25. My health coverage is $150, and then that is it. So I'm gonna go ahead and add up my total budget for the Quickstart to see what my needs are for the month of December. I'm seriously like, can't believe we are at the end of the year. And so I have 3,000. I'm gonna write this here and then add it one more time just to make sure. And normally I would do my budget on Saturday, but because we're going into a holiday weekend and I'm gonna be in my hometown, I knew I wasn't gonna have time to do it, and I did not want to not do it before the month began. So that's why I chose tonight. So I know many of you guys will be watching the replay, and I apologize for the sudden change, but I felt like it was more important to get it done before the month began than anything else. Okay, so my total needs for the month of December are $3,341.82, which is right around what I was anticipating that it would be. And so now that this is complete, I'm gonna go ahead and do my cash flow plan. So this is all about me getting really clear on just what my necessities are for the month, rent, those sorts of things. The cash flow includes what I'm gonna be putting towards my personal wants and then also my debts. So, and this form is actually 2 pages, but that is not the right page. Oh, it's 2 pages, but it's front and back. So I'm just gonna move this out of the way so we don't get confused. So it's 2 pages front and back, and there's gonna be a portion of your Quickstart budget that you copy over onto your cash flow plan, but there's also gonna be a lot more detail here on the second page where we go through personal categories and we go through my debt payments. So I'm going to fill that in. Cash flow always starts with your income, because you need to know how much money you have coming in before you start calculating what's going out. Most people find themselves in debt longer because they start with their expenses and not with their income. And the idea for creating a zero-based budget is to start with your income and then subtract your expenses and force it to equal 0 by making tough decisions. And that's the part of budgeting that most people don't like. They don't like looking at their numbers, and they don't like having to make the tough decisions to actually make it equal 0. So my tithes are gonna be 1,000. My child support is also gonna be 1,000. Which brings that to 200. I get a lot of questions about child support. For those of you guys who are new, this is something that I pay voluntarily. Me and my son's father co-parent. There's been a lot of questions about custody and just different things like that from the community, but we have joint physical custody. There's not like a sole custody situation. It was just a personal choice that we made as a family for my son to live full time with his father. He is coming up on his 18th birthday, and based on how awesome he is, I'm gonna say that we made a great decision. But child support is something that I choose to pay. I chose to set the amount. When I started this journey, I was paying about $20 a month, and I'm very, very super happy and grateful that I am able to put 10% of my income towards child support, and that my income is high enough to where it's ending up being a really beautiful number. So that makes me very happy. Gonna put my rent here. You guys will notice that the insurance is not listed on the cash flow plan because there's a separate box on the cash flow plan. That's by design because you just want to have the categories spread out a little bit differently. We're gonna do $30 for electricity, $30 for gas, $35.82 for my cell phone bill, bringing my utilities to $95.82, which I really like this number. I like this number and I like this number. And that is because essentially my housing costs, with my income remaining at 10K or higher, my housing costs are 10% of my income. And there is nothing more satisfying than having your housing expenses be 10% of your income. Like that is just, I mean, wait. Yeah, 10% of my income. That is just a beautiful thing. Tierra Love said, is there a pic of this sheet anywhere? Which sheet? These budgeting forms, you can definitely go to daveramsey.com to get the budgeting forms. You can also go to the link in the description box of any of my videos and the budgeting forms. Just click the link and I'll email the budgeting forms right to you. $75 for groceries. $75 for groceries. No clothes. You are very welcome, Tierra. Transportation is $50. And then I don't have any medication, doctor's bills, dentist, optometry, vitamins, or anything like that. I do have, I am going to go to the eye doctor and the dentist and the gynecologist in December. But because I created a sinking fund, I don't know how to show you guys. How do I show you guys how much I spent on that? Well, it won't be a part of the budget because it's just gonna come. See, this is sinking funds are they're a whole nother ball of wax. I'm looking forward to that ball of wax, figuring that out next year because that's essentially gonna be the focus. But I digress. I'm sorry. But yeah, because I'm gonna go and there's gonna be costs associated. But because I'm paying for it out of my sinking fund, you guys won't see how much that costs. I don't know how to put that back in my budget, but we'll see. I'll figure something out. Life insurance $26.25, health coverage $150, renter's insurance $575. Let me add that up. Goes $182. And then we are down to the last two categories, which are my personal and my debts. So I'm going to just figure out where my numbers are right now, which actually I don't think I changed anything from my cash flow plan. So I'm going to see how much disposable income I have left. And I'm going to take my income of 10K. And then I'm going to subtract what all of these expenses come up to so far. And so this month I'll have $6,658.18 in disposable income. And so I want to think through how I'm going to allocate that. So minimum, I want to put $5,000 on my student loans, but okay. So let me, hold on. I need to write that number down. 6,658.18. Okay. I want to put $5,000 on my student loans, but I want to sort of break out the way I write it over here just so that I can see. So my minimum student loan payment is 1655. That's my min, or 60. You know, I feel like I've been saying 1600, but I put 1655 on there. I'm gonna have to double check that and see what that's about, because I feel like I definitely said 1600 last month. Okay, my mind is coming back to me, ladies and gentlemen. It is coming back to me. But anywho, though, so 1655 is my minimum. So I'm gonna take 5,000 minus 1655, which means I'm putting an extra $3,345 on my student loans, and specifically, I'm putting that extra $3,346 toward my undergraduate loan, which is the smaller of the two loans. So that'll be an extra payment. I like breaking it apart like this because then I'm able to see I'm doing my minimum and I am adding this extra 3,000 and some odd dollars. So if ever I get down on myself about like, you made so much money this month, but you only put, not that I would probably say that, but like if I just am ever like, oh, you're not doing enough or you're not going fast enough, like I'm able to see, no, you put 1655 and you also put an extra 3,346. So I'm gonna take that number that I had before minus the 5,000. So I essentially have 1658.18 that I can spend on lifestyle. So let's see if my lifestyle stuff for December comes up to that. So therapy, it has been really, really important. And actually in November, I think I ended up going to therapy almost like twice a month, or excuse me, twice a week. I'm gonna be traveling. I'll still probably end up going to therapy 6 times this month, because on the 3 weeks that I'm here, yeah, I'm gonna budget for 6 times because I'm pretty confident that I went to therapy 8 to 10 times last month. So I'm gonna budget 6 times 70, which brings therapy to 420. Let me just double check that math. 6 times 70. Yeah, which brings therapy to 420. My gym membership is $49.99. I won't have my personal trainer expense in December, but I do still have personal training for December and the first quarter of 2020 because of my rollover. So I won't start back up costs for personal training until April of 2020. So I have therapy, I have the gym. What else? My son's college tuition program. That program is complete, so I don't have that expense anymore. I don't have any personal hygiene needs. I would like a little bit for household pantry. I'm gonna do just about $20 for household pantry. Like I need some foil or I want some foil and some parchment paper and some stuff like that. So I feel like about $20 would cover that. What else? Is there any other, can you guys remember any of my other, what I normally spend on personal besides therapy, personal trainer, and the gym? I don't need any clothes. Let me pull up my every dollar budget just to see what my normal personal expenses are. I know many of you guys will be excited to see that personal training is not in the budget for the next 4 months, but it will be back on the budget. So don't get too excited about the number being gone, but it's just worth it dropping it off for the few months to reallocate that money towards debt payment, because this snowball is rolling. It is like super rolling. So pocket money, and I know I don't know if I'm gonna do pocket money, just because I do know. So let me do let me write Christmas budget, and then Yeah, Christmas budget, and then I'm gonna also write in son visits. So yeah, I'm trying to see what other personal expenses do I have. It's like it's fascinating though what happens in a year, right? So for a year I was paying for my son's college prep stuff, and now that's gone. Paying for a personal trainer, now that's gone. And it's just amazing like how I really don't have very many personal expenses. Like, don't get me wrong, I still spend a lot of money on lifestyle, but I'm just super grateful that I've been able to figure out how to live well without having like a super long laundry list of wants. Okay. All right. So yeah, so it's pocket money, Christmas budget, son's visit. So I know the minimum for the Christmas gift for my Secret Santa is, or the maximum is $25. So that's at least $25 for my Christmas budget. Then it'll probably, I'm pretty sure I can get home and get an Airbnb for about $150. So that's $175. And then I'll do another, what, $25 for just like other food and like other sort of little things there. And so then I'll just do my Christmas budget right at $200. So that's like Christmas budget, Secret Santa, travel home, and eat for those few days that I'm there. That's 200. That's not including like a gift or anything like that for my son. So I don't know. You know, my son is really awesome that he doesn't really want much for Christmas. Like he really like he literally like, I mean, there's like one thing that I think that he wants, and that's like $50. Well, okay, I'll get him that. That'll be $250 then. That'll be awesome. Christmas is gonna be really inexpensive because I'll be able to cover the cost for contributing to the dinner, get my Secret Santa, get my son a gift, and travel home. And I'm gonna try to see if I can get my travel home budget even less than that. So that's $250. Then when my son comes to visit, so I need to get him here. That's $100. Then he will eat. So maybe I'll do two. Well, how long is he gonna be here? Yeah, I'll do $250. So okay, I'll do that. I'll do $250 for me to go to my hometown, and then $250 for my son to come here, which will include like food and ice skating and stuff like that. And then I'll just give myself $20 in pocket money for the month. But I'm trying to think, is there anything else in December? I don't think so. I really don't think so. All right, well, let's add this up. So 420 plus 499 plus 20 plus 20 plus 250 plus 250 equals 10999. Do my math one more time. Plus, yeah, Sheila Glover said $20 pocket money. Yeah. Like, are you thinking that $20 pocket money is too much or too little? I'm just curious. All right, so I'm going to now do the math to make this zero. Sheila said too little. I think the reason why like I don't have a high need for pocket money is because like, I don't know, most of the stuff that I want to do, like either at this time it doesn't cost money or I've built it into the budget somewhere else. So like, for example, I think it was last month that I gave myself $1,000, or maybe the month before that I gave myself $1,000 for homemaking, but I just haven't been in the mood to do that. So I still have money, and don't get me wrong, I know that that's not like pocket money for me to just spend on whatever I want, but it's still $1,000 for me to like go out and buy stuff, if you will. And so that kind of, even though it's not pocket money, it spends the way that I guess pocket money would spend, or at least it feels like that. like if I buy a pillow or something like that. And then as far as like food and stuff, like I eat the food that I want to eat, so there's not a high need to have pocket money for that. I don't need pocket money for my business trip because my business expenses will cover that. Yeah, there's just not a lot of stuff that, like, at least at this time, that I have a desire to buy that I just haven't figured out how to budget for. So it seems like a little, and it probably is a little, but I don't necessarily, there's no strong desire for anything. Like, I'm not like craving a cute anything. Maybe a purse. I would love a really great purse. I need to ask my mom to help me find a purse, but even if I was going to get a purse, it would be more than $20, but yes. So let's see. Dang it. All the way to the end and just has to start over. It looks like people are saying congrats to Justine. I'm going to have to go back in the comments and see what they're congratulating you about. Now I'm just doing my math to make this equal 0 to see if I'm under or over budget. I get the feeling I'm going to be under budget. That is not the correct number. It's just definitely not the correct number. Somebody said, what about your son's dental and medical? So my son had medical equipment that he needed last month, I believe, was the month that we got that for him. So that was just a one-time expense. It's not like an ongoing expense. Why is this not going down? Is this... Okay, so I still have $647.19 left in my budget for this month. And I am going to... what do I want to do with that? I'll bring my food budget to 150, and then I'll just like store some actual meat in my freezer instead of just having the meat in there that I'll eat in the month. So I'll bring this to 150. And then let me see. I have $572.19 left. Is there anything that you guys can see that I'm missing that I normally talk about or that normally comes up around this time? My brain is still a little bit scattered. So if you see something that I'm missing that I should include, let me know. If not, I'm going to go ahead and add that to my debt snowball. Stacey said, fill up those sinking funds. So I think my sinking funds are fully funded. Like, I priced my eye exam and all that stuff. I priced everything for my dental, and that's fine. And I also priced everything for my, I was going to say OBGYN appointment, but I guess it's not really. That's only if you are actually pregnant, but my annual exam. Eliza said, what is a sinking fund? A sinking fund is a long-term savings plan. So rather than you, like, let's just say, like, I had a $500 expense that I knew was coming, rather than taking $500 out of my budget, I would save $100 over 5 months in a sinking fund. Zainabi Omar says she only has student loans left. Yes. Laura Wilcox said, a little something for yourself, 50K paid off is a reason to celebrate. True story, true story. I don't have many needs right now. You know, I mean, I definitely could go to the spa. I could definitely do that. See, Unique, the only reason why I don't want to get into the wine thing is because if I start buying wine and bringing that back into my budget, then it's going to become a problem, right? Like I had talked about the things that I gave up. One of them was like wine, but that was intentional so that I wouldn't want to maintain that habit and be frustrated every time I had to deny myself. So I'm not ready yet because I'm not at 50% debt paid off yet. Maybe at 50% debt, then I'll go ahead and start doing that. Angela said, any investments? No, I'm not doing any investing at this time. Not until I'm 100% debt free. Pretty or PY texting, if the goal is to pay off debt, why not put the rest towards debt? Just curious. No, that's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not leaving anything out that you guys normally see that I talk about each month, and then I have to end up doing another budget. That's all. I'm definitely thinking that that's where it's gonna go, is towards debt. Stephanie going to, I'm just running in, however, question, how can I budget my cash tips? What I would try my darndest to do is to save up my cash tips for a full 5 to 7 days. And then once I have a lump sum amount, I would do an actual, like, I would be like, okay, cash tips for this week, like in a journal. In a journal like this, I would just do like cash tips 375, or 355 cash tips week 1. And then I would decide, okay, what am I going to spend those on? And I would write it down and then make it equal 0. But I would essentially save them up for the full week so that way I'm putting the lump sum cash tips somewhere versus putting $25 here, $35 there. You don't feel like you're making traction. And as a former server who loved her job, that's how I was like the winningest server in all the land, because I just saved up my cash tips. Dama Jules said, trainer, I don't have to pay my personal trainer because I have enough accumulated that I have up to 4 months worth of training that I can do for free. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Plan, play, eat, love. The rest is savings. At this time, I'm not adding anything to savings. I have my $1,000 emergency fund. So it looks like it's going to go to debt. I can't think of anything else. And I looked at my every dollar thing. I even went back to like January to see if there was like some sort of expense that I had there, but there's not a personal like expense that I have there. I think really the only like lifestyle personal things that I have that are like gonna be outside of what's here, especially in 2020, is just gonna be making my home like an oasis. That's it. But I mean, I haven't even spent the first 1,000 that I had given myself, so it's taking me a little bit to do that. So I don't anticipate really seeing this number over here change much. So ideally, keeping my lifestyle at 10%, 5% of my income, and keeping my income where it is just going to prove really beautiful for what I'm going to be able to put towards my debt. So let me do the math to make sure that this equals 0. So I'm really excited about that, as well as to get that. Laura Wilcox said, will you continue to pay child support when your son turns 18? Yes. 10,000 minus 1,000 minus 1,000 minus 939 minus 95.82 minus 150 minus 50. I probably should give myself a little bit more transportation, because me and my son, when my son is in town, I'm sure I'll go over budget there. So I'm going to give myself $50 more here as well, just so you guys can see that. Because I'm like, in order for us to get around the city, we're going to need that a little bit more. Now that I think about it, 182, then minus 1009.99 minus the minimum. You guys, it feels great to only have one type of debt to pay, because it is very clear what I need to be doing. because I only have one type of debt. Like, I'm not confused. I'm not like, oh, should I or shouldn't I? It's like, did you or didn't you? And so this is $50 less because I added that $50 to my transportation budget. So we're just going to change that to that. So then it'll be 522.19, which means all of my expenses come up to $10,000, which means I have a zero budget. I have a zero budget, and I'm super pumped. I'm super pumped about that. Total amount going towards debt is going to be $5,522.19. I am pumped about that. Like, finishing the year essentially putting towards my debt almost close to what I earned at the beginning of this year blows my mind. That is awesome. This is just like the fruit of what happens when you start something and stick to it. Like, I think a lot of people, when they look at my journey, they're like, oh yeah, that works for you because you're an entrepreneur, that works for you because whatever excuse you want to put in there. But there are so many reasons for this not to work for me. You know, I have a whole entire teenage human being that I'm raising. I was mentally incapacitated. I was working at a cafe. My income was, you know, below poverty there were so many reasons for this not to work. I got sick. This year was hard personally. Like, there were so many reasons for this not to work. But I think the reason that it did work is because I consistently showed up and did the work. And the work is doing a handwritten budget every single month before the month begins, increasing my income, and then allocating the bulk of my income towards debt. Like, that's the work. And that's the work that most people don't want to do. And if you look at this year compared to last year, the same enthusiasm that I have for this year, even though my income last year did not warrant the level of enthusiasm that I had, like, my enthusiasm hasn't changed. Like, even last year when my income wasn't where it was now, and I had no proof, I had nothing outside of history telling me that, like, a few years ago, like, my companies were successful. I didn't have anything in my immediate history that indicated that I would be where I'm at right now. All I had were these tools and my willingness to be consistent in using them. So I say all that to say, start. I started this journey in October. Don't wait until January 1. Start now, because it'll blow your mind. Like, it'll blow your freaking mind. Like, I am sitting up here looking at these numbers like, who is this? Who is this girl that does this? I don't even know who she is. Like, I know that I did it, and I know that I, like, you know, like, earned it and, you know, did the work. And I'm not saying that that wasn't challenging, but, like, it's amazing what happens when you just sit down and just consistently do the work every single month. So now that's off my chest, let me do my allocated spending. So you guys know this is the hardest form, but this is also the form where the rubber meets the road. So you want to do your allocated spending because this tells your money when to go. So this tells your money where to go. This tells you what you're doing with the bulk of your money in terms of paying your needs. This tells your money where to go, and this tells your money when to go. So I pay myself on a bi-weekly schedule, the 1st and the 15th. I'm going to give myself $5K at the beginning and $5K at the end. I'm going to pay my tithes and my child support. So that'll be $4,000 left. And so the way that you do this form is you put the amount that you budgeted and then you subtract it and then you put the less amount. So 4,000 now minus 1,000 equals 3,000. So by the time you get to the end, this number should equal 0 or be the carryover that you put into your that you leave in your checking account that carries over to the money that's available for you to allocate on the 15th. Am I gonna pay I feel like, when do I normally pay my rent? No, I normally pay my rent at the end of the month because it's a month ahead, right? That's normally how I pay it, yes. So I'm not gonna pay my rent there. I'm gonna pay my electricity. I literally feel like, I'm not gonna say that. I will hold that. Keep that little nugget to myself. And I think next year I also might have my cell phone bill transferred over to my business account. A lot of people ask me too about this, and this is just an aside. Not necessarily about why my cell phone bill isn't on my business account, but why I don't write off some of the things that I could write off in my business. And that is because more so than anything, the thing that is most important to me is integrity. And for me, if it's not a real business expense, if it's not like 50% or more usage for business, then I don't think for me that I'm being honest about it being a business expense. It's already a very low thing. And I, towards the end of the year, yes, I was using my cell phone at a 50% or more capacity, but for the bulk of this journey, I was using my cell phone for personal use. And that's why it's remained a personal expense. However, in 2020, just because of the nature of the business and how things will be going on, I will be doing way more dealings from my phone, which will mean that more than 50% of my usage will be on the business side, which will make me feel comfortable than putting my cell phone bill on my business side. So yes, for example, because people ask me, like, why is my internet there but not my cell phone bill? But my internet is there because it's like 97% of my internet usage is for my business. So I have no qualms about that. I am going to, am I going to pull my whole grocery budget? Is there anything that I need to make sure comes out at the beginning of the month? No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and pay I'm going to need a little bit of transportation at the beginning of the month. I'll go to the grocery store at the beginning of the month too, because, well, no, I won't, because I'll be traveling on the 3rd. So I probably actually won't get to the grocery store until the middle of the month. So let me just be honest with myself. I'm not going to do that at that time. But I will need a little bit of transportation. Okay. So 2, 8, 7, 9, 18. And then my insurances will come out at the beginning. I don't know how to describe to you guys how I feel, but I feel like, I just feel like I've been asleep and like I'm like doing this for the first time, even though I know I did it, last month and the month before that. It's so fascinating. Like, emotions are fascinating, man. They, or at least for me, the way that I manage or process them, apparently. Because I don't know, this feels so foreign to me, even though it's not. Zaina B. Omar said, how do you know you're sticking to your budget? Do you keep track? Yes. Typically what I do is throughout the month when I send stuff, I just grab a highlighter and highlight across. I know I should be updating it on the every dollar, but I'm a pen and paper girl. So, yeah, I just do that. And then what I'm going to do in 2020, because one of my new fast friends told me about this planner that's more of like a task planner, and I'm a task girl. So what I'm going to do in 2020 when I start doing my budgets is that I have like my monthly goals, important dates here. And what I'm going to do, because I'll carry this with me, is I will actually like fold my cash flow plan like this and staple it to, like staple it to the page like this. So that way, like, I literally am carrying my cash flow plan around with me, because I am anticipating my income to increase significantly in 2020, which means I'm going to want to be super laissez-faire with it. And I don't want to do that. So I'm going to carry it with me in a highlighter so I can highlight and cross things off, because 2020 is just going to be important because the income is going to be so high, and it's just way easier to be frivolous when you have a ton more money coming in, but I don't want to do that. Let's see. Therapy, she's not going to take that out until the end of the month. Gym doesn't come out until the end. I can give myself my pocket money. I just feel like I have crisscrossed everything out on here, but I'll give myself my pocket money at the beginning of the month. And I will also do my household pantry at the beginning of the month as well. All right, so that is all I'm going to, well, actually, no, I'm gonna pay my minimum on my student loans as well. So it's actually 2 student loans, and let me get the exact amount that they are broken into. They are I put extra on that one, so I know that. Oh well, let me just go back 1 month, see if I can find the minimum. Because I think before I was doing. Okay, so minimum on my undergrad is $715.53, and then the minimum on my grad is $939.67, which I just want to see what that actually adds up to, because I think I was saying that my minimum was $655, but maybe I'm mistaken. Yeah, so $655.20. Oh, you guys can't see that, but $655.20. So yeah, that's what my actual minimum is, but this is the way that it's actually allocated. And I think at one point I was doing like 1,000 and $655, but I want to be super accurate on these numbers because of the way interest is set up, and because I'm now actually paying attention to interest, these little digits are important. I mean, they've always been important, but I only had a capacity for so much. So, oops. So I'm going to take 265.7.18 minus 715.53 equals 1941.65 minus 939.67 equals 1,000. So I have 1,098, and I don't have any more expenses that are going to come out at the beginning of the month. So what I do is it's like this is what will be left over in my checking account, which functions as a credit. So in order to make sure that I complete the allocated spending form correctly, I have to take into consideration this remaining amount and add it to the money that I'm gonna get here. So I'm gonna take this $1,001.98, because that's gonna be in my checking account. And then that means that I am having a starting balance of $6,198, which that was a very hard thing for me to understand initially, because it feels like you're giving yourself extra money, but you're not, because you're allocating it. You're not actually budgeting it. And that's why this is called allocating and not budgeting. And I think a lot of people don't get that part, and they get a little bit confused when they have to do this form, and so they just skip it. But this form, again, is where the rubber meets the road on your budget. So 6,000, and then I'm gonna go ahead and pay my rent. Equals 506298. And then I will give myself my food budget. And then I will give myself the other amount of my transportation budget. Then I will pay my other personal expenses, so therapy. I guess you guys can't see that calculator. 420 equals, oops, I definitely wrote that on the wrong line, but. And then I have gym at $49.99. And then I have my Christmas budget. And then I have my son visits budget. All right. And then that remaining should all be able to go to my debt. I don't have any other expenses. And I'm okay. And so when I put this on my debt, I'm not going to put it on the larger one. I'm going to put it on the smaller one, or the minimum payment of the smaller one. So it'll be an extra payment towards that. But let's make sure that number is what it's supposed to be. Okay, so I'm a dollar off, and I think the reason why is because, dang it, I'm a dollar off. There's nothing worse than getting to the end and missing something. So let me redo my math here. Bear with me, folks. I'm going to just run through my math really quick to try to find this dollar that I'm missing. And I think it's because on my cash flow plan, I did not allocate for, because I did 16.55, but I did not do. Yeah, so this has a 20 cents, but that's still only 20 cents. All right, how do I go back? Where do I go back? What would I need to go back and do to make that equal 0? Okay. Okay. So give me 2 seconds. Let me go back first to my cash flow plan and make this correct. So it's supposed to be 16.20. So let's make this equal 0, and then I'll go from there. Yeah, Eliza, yeah, that's what I did. Well, I was off. I thought it was 16.55, but it was 16.55 and 20 cents. But still 20 cents doesn't make up for the full dollar. So there's somewhere that I'm carrying wrong. So I just want to try to grab that. So my numbers actually shake out properly. Dang it. Oh, shoot. All right. Sorry, guys. Oh, come on, you guys. It's a... All right. I got this. You're going to find this dollar, and it's going to give you so much satisfaction when you crawl into bed tonight. So go find this dollar. Let me not go off this number. Let me do these individually, because maybe that's where it is. So this should be, there's the dollar. Okay, so it should be 521.99. Okay, and then that will make it equal to 0. So not 522, 521.99. All right, so now that is makeup with, I didn't see your name, but you said, do I check my DMs on Instagram? No, I was completely off social media for like the last 3 months outside of coming on to do my budget. So no, I have not. I mean, normally I'm like in my DMs, like all over my DMs, but I was not all over them over like the past couple of months. I think like 3 months. Okay, so that is correct. So now this number needs to be, so, okay. So let me redo this. Oof. Can you send it to my email, info@staceyflowers.com? Because I have like, maybe like, I don't know, 300 or 400 Instagram DMs right now. But can you send it to my email at info@staceyflowers.com? So 5,000 minus 1,000 minus 1,000 minus 30 minus, and this isn't something that I had told you guys, but like my Instagram, my YouTube, and my email were all hacked, which really is not awesome. It's a very frustrating experience. Instagram was like hacked in a way where someone got in, and then it was also hacked again after that, where someone like built a whole profile. And I was like, you are not me. I don't know who you are, but don't be building a profile in my name. Okay, so this is where some of the numbers got off. So that I didn't get off of social media because that happened, but that did happen, and it caused a significant delay in my ability to be able to respond via email and whatnot. Just the hacking caused that. And then the Instagram stuff, I just wasn't in a place to be on anybody's social media. So it just kind of sucked that the Instagram stuff happened, but I was able to get it resolved within like 3 weeks. And I tell you what, how is that number? Oh, it has to be because you took that off first, because that number did not make any sense whatsoever. $285.93. 272. Okay. 267. I will find this dollar. 267.18. 257.18. Am I getting the same math? Oh, come on. Oh, okay. All right, we're getting the same math, so let's just keep going. All right. 162.98. 4912.98. 4837.98. Okay. Also, if I end up not going to therapy as often as I'm anticipating this month, then I will just dump that on my debt as well. But you guys will see that reflected in the budget report card. Also, my numbers are exactly the same. No, there it is. There it is. 2H. Well, I don't know what that is, but that is definitely a different number. Oh, because that looks like a 3. That's why. That's a 5. All right. Dang it, but did I subtract 3? Okay, hold on. Let's go back to this number. Okay, that was supposed to be a 6. All right. Okay. So then I'm putting this amount on here, but is that the right amount? 3867.99. Okay. All right. So there we go. It's the right amount. Then 0 will be left. Okay. It took me a little bit. I had to go back to my cash flow plan and make that 20 cents right because it was just messing up my math. But it is 0. So on my first pay period, I'll pay my tithes, my child support, my utilities, then my insurances, our pocket money and household pantry, a little bit of transportation, and my minimums on my student loans. Then in my second pay period, I'll pay my rent because my rent is paid in a month in advance. So that's the reason why I pay it at the end of the month, because it's always a month in advance. I'll also pay for therapy, my gym membership, Christmas, and my son's visit. And then I will pay my extra student loan payment of $3,867.99. So that is awesome. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop off and just start a new one, and we'll do a little bit of Q&A. I see some of you guys' questions on the screen, so I'll just stay on for a little bit to answer some of your questions. So I'll be right back. Oh, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it.